Okay, really quickly, this is how you do reverse canvas with a 651 vinyl on it. Just starting really with the basic canvas. You can get these ones at Michael's. They're on sale. I think I got them for $2. There was 2 of them in there. Just quickly, you're taking the canvas off the front and the frame is in the back. This is how I go about taking off the staples. Everybody's got their own way, and you do whatever it takes works for you. I've got a kind of a thin screwdriver that gets me under. Pull up the staple, trusty needle nose, put it in there and pull it out. That's what you got to do. Maybe somebody else has got a super trick that they get them in and out faster, so good for them, but this is what I have to do to get my staples out. So I'm going to go through and peel off all the staples, and then I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, I just popped out my last staple, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like once you pull off the canvas. Oh, make sure you don't get any splinters. Okay, so then you flip it over, and this is the side that's the frame that you'll want to use. You can finish it any way you want. Leave it bare, sand it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want. So set that aside, and then this is the canvas. Flatten it out, and then you're going to want to trim it up, because all you really want is for it to fit on the back side of this. So I usually just cut it, probably best just to cut it off here, the internal square, and you go around and just trim that off. So I'll probably, let me just get my scissors and just trim this, because this is the size I want. And I may have to trim it a little bit more, but I'd rather have to trim more than to make it too small. Okay. So this is waist. Now I've got this, and so eventually this is going to get stapled on the back. So yeah, I'll probably trim a little bit more before I staple it on the back. Okay. All right, so now let's get over to the vinyl and the design part. Okay, so now it's time to do the vinyl. I've got it designed already in my Silhouette, and for the sake of expediency, I'm not going to do a screen recording. We're just going to do the old-fashioned point the phone at the computer, and then I'll swing it over so you can see me cutting the vinyl. So I'm doing this really quick quote to go on the small canvas that I have. It's just a saying my husband and I have with each other: you make my nose tingle. So I've got 2 colors, black and red, and so I'm going to cut them 2 separate times, cut by color, so you can kind of see how that's done. This U is Cleef is the font, and Tingle is Shania's script. So first I will cut the You Make My Nose, which is in black. So I'm actually going to go up here to Send, and I'm going to tell it I want to not just cut simple. Here's my options up at the top of the screen. I don't want to just cut simple. Let me see if I can zoom in for you a little bit. I don't want to cut just simple. I'm actually going to cut by fill. So it's going to look at my design and say, hey, you only have 2 fills. I either have a black fill or a red fill. So I'm going to cut the black fill first. So I'll uncheck the red, and so it's highlighted my black to say I'm cutting black first. I'm clicking on that just to make sure it's registering black. It tells me it's going to pull my settings for 651, which I've already dialed in and created for myself, and it's going to cut it. So I just verify it's cutting a 651 on my machine with my blade, with my air temperature and moisture in the air. All these things contribute to people's cut settings. I've got mine actually set at a 5 right now because my blade is getting dull. But I've got mine at a 5 for a blade depth, a speed of 5, and a force of 13. So my settings are correct before I hit send. This is my trusty machine. So I'm going to, I put the vinyl, this is HTV with the black up, and there's the backing paper is on the mat, so it's black up. My mat is getting so old and it doesn't stick as well, and I need to recondition it. So I just use painter's tape to make sure nothing pops up while it's going through the machine. So I'm lining it up on my blue and I'm hitting load cut mat. I only needed enough black vinyl on there for the words specifically that I've done. I don't need to put a whole giant sheet of black vinyl on there. So now I'm going over to my machine and I'm going to hit send. And it's going to send my cut job over here. So I'll pause while it's cutting it out, and then I'll come back once it's just done cutting. Okay, I think it's almost done. Okay, maybe I was just kidding. There we go. Now we're done. Okay. So I'm going to hit unload, and it looks like we've got cuts. You can kind of see them there. So let me peel my tape off. I store it because I can use it over and over again. Over here, my painter's tape. Okay, so I have my vinyl. Just for the sake of saving vinyl, I do kind of cut out the part that was cut. It has my words on it. And this goes in my vinyl pieces drawer or envelope so that I can use it again. And then I will move it over there to the weeding. So next, let me cut the red really quick. Here's I know on my design the red doesn't start until after 2 inches, so I can actually safely kind of put this down about 2 inches. Put it there, save me some vinyl. I'm gonna attach my painter's tape just to make sure nothing pops up and gets jammed in the machine. Okay, so in goes the red load cut mat. I'm gonna go over here to my computer and I'm gonna change it from black to red. So now it's got my red tingle highlighted, so that's the one I'm cutting. Oracal 651 again. Same settings, and I'm just going to hit send. Okay, and we'll pause while that's cutting. Okay, so here's my black words, here's my red words. You can kind of see they both cut. Just a reminder, if you're doing script letters, make sure you weld the words together. That makes it so that there's no breaks between the letters. So I'm just going to weed, which means to take off the material that I don't want on my sign, and that's going to be anything that's not a letter. So I want this material off, and when you cut it right, it cuts all the way through, but yet doesn't cut the paper. So that's what it did. And then I'll use my handy weeding tool to pick out the center. So my letters. This is my least favorite one of the bunch here. This is better. That one was losing its point. Okay. So there's the you make my nose. And then here's the tingle one. I bend on the corner and peel. That helps me get all of my vinyl weeding started, but let's see. There we go. And there's tingle. Let's clean that one up. Make sure that I can see at an angle if it was a big center or a little center. There we go. And then my E right there. Okay, so there's my vinyl. You make my nose tingle. So I want it to sit in the center of this. So just for kicks and giggles, we'll make sure it looks the way we want. I think I might paint this frame black. I saw somebody had a black one. I really liked it. So that's the way it's going to float in the center of this. So now I need to transfer it from the backing paper onto the canvas itself. My preferred transfer tape, which is going to help me do that, is this stuff right here. This is called AT65. It is my very, 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 very favorite transfer tape. It is high quality stuff. It's not bad price wise. I think this is maybe $15 to $18. Don't quote me on it. I got it from Sign Warehouse. The best part about this stuff is I've had this roll for almost 2 years. And I still have all of this left. So I probably have at least another year to 2 years. This stuff lasts forever because one little square of this stuff can be used over and over and over. So see, it's crystal clear so you can see through it. And it's totally reusable. It's transfer tape. I'll have to show you. Here's my little craft corner. If you can see, I save all of my little squares because you can just reuse them over and over and over again. So that's why this stuff lasts forever. And for me, it's the perfect tackiness. I've never had a problem with it. So just for the sake of demo, I'm going to get myself a new piece. Normally when I'm doing my own projects, I just reuse all of my old stuff and I can piece it together. So here's a new piece of transfer tape. So this transfer tape is going to help me get this vinyl off of the backing paper and onto my canvas. So first I'm going to take off the black one and then put it down, and then I'll do the red one separately. So I just need a flat edge, some pressure, apply it to this, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, it peels right off. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure that I know where the center is on this thing. And I'm going to just pinch with my fingers. And I think I'm just eyeballing it. I really am. But now I realize I've got a ruler here. Why am I eyeballing it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there is where I wanted it. Okay. Yay. So right about there. That's the center. Okay. And just as a way of marking that center, I'm going to use the middle of my E's. I can peel them out later if I want to. And if they're in the way when I lay down my letters, I can move them too. Sorry, I moved my camera a bit. I'm going to actually stand up because I find that I can center things better when I'm looking up to down. So Tingle's going to be somewhere around here. The You Make My Nose then needs to be somewhere right about there. Okay. This is just eyeballing. This is how I'm going to do it. If you want to lay down yours with a ruler, go for it. Okay. Lay it down. I didn't prep my canvas. I didn't paint it. I didn't Mod Podge it. Nothing. Okay. Just straight out of the package. You saw me peeling it. Sorry, it's probably shaking because this isn't a super sturdy table. My cutter's on the sturdy table. So this may take a little bit of convincing, but that's why we're going to heat press it afterwards with the iron, because that is what's going to make the vinyl stick for sure to the canvas. Okay, so yeah, these little tiny letters don't like to stick down as well as the big ones. So I'm pulling and holding, pulling and holding. There we go. One down. And then we're definitely going to have to heat press this bad boy. That's okay. Sharper angles when you peel help. I've also before, sorry, am I in your way to see? Use the edges of the card to help hold down some of the letters. Okay. And I'll probably, rather than firing up my heat press for this, I'm probably just going to show you how to do it with an iron. Because an iron works just as well. Oops, darn it all. I wrinkled my E. But that's okay because I just pushed it back. Okay, don't want to tear my S. Okay, so everybody's on. We're in. Now I just need to do the tingle. So we're going to pick up the tingle. Oh, sorry, I'm over here picking up the tingle. I want to make sure I don't pick up You Make My Nose. There's this. Okay, I just have to set the tingle in. And I think the way it worked is that, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Push this down. Gonna bend the ends. There we go. Slowly but surely. Okay. There. Okay. Everybody's on. And so I will actually save this. I stick it to the bottom side of my cutting mat. Save it for the next project. Okay. So everybody's in. I just have to set it now with an iron. So I'll go do that real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to do a quick iron to set it because we saw before it doesn't like to stay on canvas without some help. So I'm actually going to use the heat to heat up the plastic in the vinyl to make it adhere better. You do need to have something between the vinyl and your iron or it's going to melt. So this is a sheet of Teflon, and in a pinch you probably use like a pillowcase if you don't have one of those. So I'm putting this down, and then I've got my iron, no steam, and I've poured out the water from it, so it's just a dry iron. So I'm just going to lightly go over the top of this. I'm not sitting in any one spot, so that it just kind of warms it up and starts to melt it. Let's see if we've got, there we go. You can tell that it's heated up and melted to the right texture. Let me show you. If you can see, you can actually start to see the texture of the canvas come through. See all of those? And that's how you know that it's melted and attached to the canvas. So now this is permanent. This is not coming up. There's nothing that's going to stick or pop up. So now it's attached to the canvas. And it just took a few seconds with the iron. Okay, and I'll just go show you what it looks like with the frame, and then we're all done. Okay, here's the final product. Just took it and put it in my frame. Well, after I painted my frame. So you can see everybody's attached. And it's ready for Valentine's Day. Hope this helped. Good luck. Thanks.